Now that we have our folders and files and all the basic setting in place, it's about time we start marking up content for the page. And to start with, we're going to create the navigation. If you look at the navigation, you see it has this name super clean and the two items at the right, with the last one having a background color of orange. So let's create that first. The approach I'm going to be following now is I'm going to have the content pasted instead of you sit down while I do the whole typing, and we spend a lot of time doing that. So for the navigation, I have the content copied to the clipboard. I'll just place and explain where necessary. So here is the navigation with a nav element and a class of nav. In each, I have the anchor tag with a class of logo and a container div with a class of navigation, which contains the UL and two li. In each of the LIs, I have the link class, which is applied on an anchor tag. And for the last one, I have the last modifier, so that I'm able to apply a different style to it. That's the background of orange there. So this is the markup for the navigation. Now let's apply the CSS or the SCSS. I will open the navigation class or the navigation file in my, I guess that's layout, right? So I have nav, and that nav, I'm going to set a display of flex. And by that, flex direction is row. So there's no point repeating that. Justify content. I want a space between. I want it to have a height of 7 rem. Because I'm setting a height of 7 rem, I want the items to stay at the center vertically. So what do we do to get that done? And means I will say align items center, because this time the cross axis is vertical. So I want the items to stay at the center. Then I want padding of 0 up and down. I already have 7 rem height, so I don't need padding. And I already have the align item at the center, but I need 10 VW left and right. And the reason why I'm applying 10 VW here now is I'm going to be using this utility class in some of the sections, so I want them to align. This is left and right, this is up and down. As a matter of fact, the reason I'm not using this row PD here, it's because of this 10 rem up and down. I don't want, that padding for the navigation. That's why. Otherwise, I could have, used it in the HTML itself here, and there will be no need for me to be doing this. Then the next thing, color primary, and that's the dark blue color there. What else do I want? I think that should be for that navigation, that nav. Let me give that a save now and see what we've got. So this is what we have. Now we have the text here, which is lost inside the background color, and we should also have similar things here for the links. Let's take care of the text color one after the other. Now the first one there is the logo that has the text super clean and it's an anchor. And if you remember, for our anchor, we already have some default settings for them in the base.scss. So let me target that first. I can nest it in the nav because I'm not likely going to use it anywhere else. So I can afford to tie it down to this nav class. So what do I want in that place? Because it's an anchor, I just need that text to be white. I want a color of white. Color white. Now I already have a default font size set for nav, which I think is about 1.5. Let me give it a check. All right, this is 1.5 default, and I already have some other properties that decoration set to none, so I wouldn't need to bother myself about them here. And that's one of the beauties of having this sort of configuration. So, but I want a font size of 2.5. I want a font weight of bold. I'm not using any custom font, so let me just use bold. Give that a save. That should give me the text in white there. All right, so that's out of the way. What's the other child of the nav? The other one is navigation. This selector has two children, the anchor and this div. So I can target the other one now by saying navigation. There's nothing I want to do about that container. So let me get into it and target the list there. The list there is the UL and it contains 2 LIs. So what do I want? I can set display to flex also. Display will be flex. And automatically, flex direction is row, as you already know by now. Inside the list, I have items, but don't forget that that item is not necessarily a child of list. So this item is inside this list, but not necessarily a child. So I can't nest it inside by doing something like this. I can't do something like this. You get it? Otherwise, it will run into trouble. So I can target it from here, and I have item. If you place your cursor on it now, you see that it's correct, navigation item. Now, the items are the LIs. Okay. Now, so what do I really want for that LI? Let me give them a margin left of 2 rem. I'm not interested in any other properties for now. And for the link, which is inside the item, those are the anchors. I want a color of white. And I do not want to override the basic setting for anchor here. So I already have 1.5 rem for the font size. But of course, I've already overridden the color. So as for the font size, I will leave it like that. You can say font weight. It's bold. Let's see what we have. Good. So we have both the name and the anchors, white. So, but the last thing is I need to change this one to have a background color of orange. And in my HTML, I already assigned a modifier last to that item. So what I need to do is to nest it here. Let me target the last link there. And all I need to do is to say like this. Then I just need to say background color, and that's color secondary. That's what I call that orange color there. And this time around, I will have to change the color of the text. Color will turn to color white, and I want a padding of 1 rem around, border radius 1 rem, and I can see, as you can see, immediately I put border radius, I have all these browser prefixes automatically added. It's because I have the plugin installed that will automatically add all the browser prefixes for old browsers. Let me save it now and see what we have. Yeah, so now I have that last item having this background of orange. Now let's see the finished version if we have any hover effect on that. Okay, there's no hover effect, so I'm going to leave it like that. But of course, we can add hover effect if you so desire. So that takes care of the navigation. Next, we're going to look at the hero section.